What led to the conflict of 7th of October 2023 started at dawn. As the sun rose on the dawn of the 20th century, an event of such epic scale and cataclysmic power ignited that it would forever warp the path of global politics and the pulsating heart of society. This monumental event was none other than the apocalyptic First World War, a conflict so vicious, so overwhelming, its tremors echoed across the globe's farthest corners, leaving no land untouched by its monstrous devastation. This was no mere war, it was a global inferno, a violent collision of civilizations that pulverized mankind's rich tapestry of culture, teeming cities, and the existing order into nothing more than pulverized fragments and ash. Caught in this whirlwind of annihilation were innocent civilians, weary soldiers, and battle-hardened generals. The war twisted the very fabric of sanity, an era where the worth of human life was diminished to insignificance, and the grim reaper of death reigned supreme. Rivers ran thick with the crimson tide of blood, the heavens roared with unyielding fire, and the earth shuddered beneath the relentless barrage of artillery fire. Dark, dank trenches transformed into crypts for the living. Soldiers languished for endless months amidst a world of death and decay, their experiences of unimaginable horror pushing the boundaries of human comprehension. The war's monumental force shook society at its very core, redefining our understanding of humanity. As final cannon's thunderous chorus faded into silence, the settling dust revealed a landscape grotesquely disfigured by the heinous atrocities of war. Ushering forth from these disastrous ruins, a new world order clawed its way into existence. A world order, forever scarred and twisted by the indelible imprints of the war, that bore little resemblance to the world it replaced. The fallout of the war echoed across centuries, its impact most profoundly felt in the Middle East. The once vibrant Ottoman Empire crumbled to dust, its political borders redrawn by the imperious hand of Western powers with scant regard for cultural, religious, or tribal affiliations. This haphazardly imposed division of territories planted seeds of resentment and discord, setting a stage for centuries filled with unrest and upheaval. These tumultuous events, cascading like dominoes, culminated in one of the most enduring, multifaceted, and explosive conflicts of our time, the Israel-Palestine dispute, a conflict that continues to confound the greatest minds of the world, a Pandora's box that still looms large on the global stage. In the aftermath of the First World War, the political landscape of the Middle East dramatically shifted with the dissolution of the Ottoman Empire. Amidst the ensuing chaos, the ever-opportunistic British Empire grasped control of the politically unstable region of Palestine, a strategic territory at the crossroads of Africa, Asia, and Europe. This imposition of British rule was sanctioned by the League of Nations, marking a significant change in the balance of power in the Middle East. It was in this context that the British Empire made a controversial move in the year 1917. Foreign Secretary Arthur Balfour issued a public statement, famously known as the Balfour Declaration, expressing Britain's support for the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. This declaration was not just a simple endorsement, it was a policy statement that had significant implications on both local and international levels. The Balfour Declaration, named after its instigator, was seen as a beacon of hope for Jews worldwide. However, it also sparked much controversy. This policy signaled Britain's blatant interference in the region and was seen by some as an imposition of their will over the destiny of Palestine. It also confirmed tacit support from the world powers for Jewish self-determination in their historical homeland, adding further fuel to the debate. The issuance of the Balfour Declaration led to a significant influx of Jewish immigrants to Palestine. Spurred by dreams of a Jewish homeland and the haunting specter of mounting anti-Semitism in Europe, Jews from around the world began to converge in Palestine. However, this rise in immigration, while driven by hope for a brighter future, also served to heighten the tension and controversy surrounding the Balfour Declaration and British control over Palestine. The climate of acceptance that marked the early years began to shift ominously as the number of Jewish immigrants surged. Originally welcomed by the dominant Palestinian community, a sense of fraternity had blossomed between the diverse followers of Abrahamic faith. This harmonious era was characterized by coexistence, shared land, and mutual respect. However, this peaceful cohabitation started to crack under the pressure of a rapidly rising Jewish immigrant population. The balance of power was shifting, and the Palestinians, once the majority, began to fret over the looming loss of their cultural and political dominance. Fear began to transform the perception of Jewish immigrants from being settlers to potential threats to their sovereignty. Simultaneously, the Jewish immigrants, escaping the intensifying anti-Semitic sentiment and hostility in Europe prior to the Second World War, sought refuge in Palestine. The horrors of the Holocaust further underscored their desperation for a safe haven. This acute fear and desperation often led to clashes with the Palestinian community, further stoking the embers of discord. In an attempt to douse the escalating tensions, the United Nations in 1947 proposed a partition plan, suggesting the division of Palestine into distinct Jewish and Arab territories. Jewish leaders, eager for safety and self-determination, were quick to endorse this plan. However, Arab leaders had a starkly different reaction, seeing it as an unjust division of their homeland. They rejected the proposal vehemently, fanning the flames of tension even further. In spite of the intense disagreement, the State of Israel was established in May of 1948. This not only offered Jews a sanctuary, but also served as a spark that ignited the first Arab-Israeli conflict. The powder keg of tension, already at its brim, exploded into a full-scale war, marking the commencement of a long, intricate, and volatile conflict between the two nations. Over the span of an agonizing 7 decades, the homeland that once unified has been warped into an epicenter of strife and discord. These years beheld countless wars, impromptu rebellions, and peace agreements that drastically sculpted the geopolitical terrain of the region. Yet, one crucial issue, the right to self-determination, continues to hang in the balance. Palestine, a land once laden with verdant olive groves and cities teeming with history, now stands as a bleak reminder of the effects of a decades-long occupation. Today, the map of Palestine presents itself as a complex puzzle of regions under Israeli control and semi-autonomous Palestinian territories. The Palestinian people, who once freely roamed their lands, are now wrestling with a life teeming with numerous obstacles. The Israeli occupation has imposed manifold limitations on their freedom of movement, crippling access to crucial resources and opportunities, thus pervading every corner of their daily life. The omnipresent menace of conflict and violence has sown seeds of deep-rooted fear and uncertainty within the Palestinians. However, despite these challenging circumstances, the indefatigable spirit of the Palestinian people refuses to dim. Their tenacity is evidenced in their ability to stand tall amidst hardships and persist in their fight for freedom. The aspiration of a tranquil resolution and the termination of the occupation remains unwavering. Their optimism, even amidst the persistent conflict, serves as a beacon of hope, a testament to their resolute determination for peace and freedom. The Israel-Palestine conflict is far more than a simple tension. It's a labyrinthine entanglement of historical, cultural, and political complexities. Its roots take us back to the disintegration of the Ottoman Empire post-World War I, a tumultuous period when a state of flux prevailed and identities were being reshaped. The complexity of the conflict noticeably leaped ahead with the large-scale migration of Jews to Palestine, leading to the establishment of the State of Israel in 1948. Pivotal event drastically changed the dynamics of the region, embodying the harsh intricacies of the dispute. This was further evidenced in October, when the Palestinian resistance demonstrated a bold defiance against occupation, a stark display from the Israeli side. This act, viewed by many as a major turning point, amplified the narrative of Palestinians instigating their fight for rights. In the present day, the conflict is perpetuated by an unyielding cycle of violence. The Palestinians continue to dwell under the oppressive shadow of occupation. Yet, occupation. The ongoing narrative is more than just about conflict. It also brings to foreground the fortitude and tenacity of two communities tethered together by engaged in an unending struggle for identity and acknowledgement in the land they both hold dear. The route to peace in this conflict is as multifaceted and thorny as the conflict itself, cast in the shadow of Israel's establishment. It's no straight path, a twisted road filled with hurdles, disputes, and the need for reconciliation. It demands nurturing empathy, sparking diplomatic dialogue, and an unfaltering dedication. More crucially, it calls for the acknowledgement of historical grievances, a nuanced understanding of cultural complexities, and the acceptance of common dreams. In spite of the convoluted nature of the journey, Palestine will once again stand strong. It underscores the potential for peaceful coexistence, instilling the belief peace is not an option, in spite of the towering challenges. Palestine will emerge victorious. Israel has done enough damage. Voiceover. As we shift our focus to the final chapter, we find ourselves contemplating an autonomous Palestine. However, to achieve this, a set of challenges and hurdles need to be navigated. The path towards an independent Palestine is strewn with innumerable obstacles, yet it's a journey that will morph into reality. One of the pivotal players in this journey is Hamas, a resistance movement that has been at the forefront of the struggle for Palestinian sovereignty. The first cornerstone of this journey is international recognition and support, a colossal task in its own right. The global community's role transcends merely recognizing Palestine's sovereignty. It's also about advocating for the rights of the Palestinian people to self-determination and freedom, standing by the Palestinian cause, and recognizing the role of groups like Hamas that have been integral to this struggle. Gradually, the importance of pacifying actions, with diplomacy forming the bedrock for resolving conflicts. Hamas, too, has a role to play here, negotiating on behalf of Palestinians. Yet peace talks are of the past. Right now, on October 7, 2023, war has started, and it will end with Palestine getting back their country. Hamas, as a resistance movement, also carries the memories of this struggle. Striving for healing demands a commitment to justice and reparations, an uphill but necessary task. The path towards an independent Palestine is complex, with each step demanding bravery, sincerity, and an understanding of the roles played by different factions, including Hamas. It calls for unwavering determination, diplomatic efforts, and a pledge to justice and equality for the Palestinians. Reviewing the past, comprehending it, and learning from it adds another layer of challenge. As we visualize the potential future of Palestine, we see a land imbued with dignity, devoid of fear, and brimming with prosperity. A land where Palestinians don't have to coexist with Israelis, sharing their homeland with these awful human beings. A future that is not just about individuals or groups, but about justice and freedom for all Palestinians. This is the future Palestine we strive for, a goal that underscores the importance of understanding, negotiation, and reconciliation. As we inch closer to this vision, we're reminded of the challenges encountered and the pivotal role of international recognition, support, and the contributions of resistance movements like Hamas.